I'm gonna try, gonna try, gonna try. Work till I die, till I die, till I die. I'm gonna fail and get up, cause I'm not giving up on my dream.
Hi my lovely Frosty fam, it's me Karen Frost at Nail Decadence, and in this video we are going to be doing quite a few little techniques. We've got some colour blocking and some marbling and a few other things, so yeah, come along with me, let me tell you about what I'm doing. As you can see, I have applied some pink acrylic to my nail in a diagonal, and I'm using my craft knife to get myself a nice straight line to butt the next colour up to. I'm using a nice pink. This pink I mixed myself, the usual. I always mix my own colours. I will link the video to how I mix my own colours in the cards, so check that out if you're interested. I've also mixed the mint colour myself, so yeah, but I'm using the nail system. I'm using the Mega White and, like I said, the pink and the mint that I mixed myself. So yeah, on this nail is the colour block nail, so I'm using my craft knife to cut a nice sharp line so that I can go straight in with the next colour. I'm keeping these thin because I will file in the lines and then cap it afterwards. So as you can see, I'm not applying it thickly. It's a thin layer, not thick at all. You can see how flat that nail is. There's no apex in there yet. So once I've applied that layer of colour, I will use my craft knife again to cut a nice straight line. That way I don't have to wait for it to set and file it in. Sometimes I do this, sometimes I file it in. Depends on my mood, really. Sometimes I forget I even have a craft knife. But that's the, well, Dory brain. That's me. Just call me Dory. Oh well. But yeah, anyway, so I've got that line nice and sharp, so then I'll go in with the Mega White, which is a really bright, nice white, very nice white, and again, very thin layer because I do need to encapsulate these nails, and I am going to put some of these Paua, I don't know how to say that, Paua. I like to say abalone because it's easier to say, but yeah, they're also called Paua shells. Yeah, obviously I'm having trouble saying that, but you know what I mean. Shell pieces and some gold leaf. Let's yeah. So abalone shell pieces and some gold leaf. Add those on. Oh, and the brush I'm using is my SPD London brush, size 14. It's a good brush. I like it. I've got a few brushes and I like them all. So I'm just going to cap those shell pieces and obviously the gold leaf too. That way they're protected so that when I file in the pink and green line to get a nice sharp line, then I won't file into those pieces because we don't want to file into those pieces, we want to keep them. Anyway, on to the ring finger. I shall be doing an ombre, so again these are thin layers. We want the colour to be in thin layers so that we can cap the ombre so we don't file them away, but I'm also going to be adding some mylar pieces to this nail too. So yeah, in with the mint colour first, get my tip area nice and opaque, then I will go to use the pink, apply that to sort of halfway down the nail, blend that in to start my ombre off, put another bead behind that. These are quite small beads, not huge beads, sort of medium beads, and again bring that down to help the ombre. And if the ombre is taking over, like the pink was going a bit too far down, so I go in with a bit of the mint colour and just bring that back up so that I'm not losing so much of the mint. I mean, it all depends on how you want your ombre to look, of course. you might want your pink further down the nail, but in this set I wanted it not quite as far down as it had gone. So yeah, and then last bead by the cuticle area, get that nice and neat. And if I've missed any areas or any of the any parts of the ombre aren't a bit quite right or a bit patchy, then I'll just add another bead, just a tiny little bead, blend that in, and then I will stick some mylar into that acrylic as it's still wet. I'll just push them in, and if they don't stick, I'll just use a tiny bit of clear acrylic to get the mylar pieces to stay put. And I'm also using some of that gold leaf. This gold leaf, it has some blue in it. It's really pretty, blue and green in it. It's not just straight up gold leaf. I should have shown you it before I tore it into pieces, but yeah, maybe I forgot to show it in the video, and I'm not going to go and get it now to take a photo of it. Sorry, not doing it. So, but yeah, it's a nice gold leaf with blue and green in it. It's really pretty. Anyway, so I will let those mylar and gold flake set up in the clear acrylic that I put over it to keep them put, and move on to the next nail, which is the middle finger. And on this finger I'm doing a full nail of the mint colour. Again, I'm keeping it thin because I'm using these colours as paint or colours, not for strength. I will cap them all in clear acrylic, and that's where they will get their strength and structure from. So you can see they're flat nails because yeah, this is colour only. Another bead around the cuticle area, tap that in, make sure it's nice and neat, bring the front of the bead down, blend it in, have a look, make sure my cuticle area is as neat as I would like it, and if it isn't, I take another bead and go in again. And once I'm happy with that, I will be adding, oh no, I'm going to cap, that's it. I'm going to cap the ring finger. I started in the middle of the nail, and I'm bringing the clear acrylic down over the tip and the free edge, just encapsulate all of those beautiful glitter pieces and my ombre so we don't file those away. And I will also add another bead. I'm just turning and making sure I've got the side bits done, and then I'll add another bead at the apex area to make sure I have a nice apex on this set of nails, because we don't want them to break, we want them to be nice and strong. These are long, they are long. Nail set terms, they're not that long, but standard nail terms, they are quite long. So we want to make sure we've got a nice apex, not a huge apex, but a nice one, you know. Well, I will add as much clear acrylic as I think is necessary to make sure everything is nicely encapsulated, and I'm just going to and fro from different fingers and making it up as I go along with this set. So on the thumb I'm going to do a marble, and I wasn't happy with those first few beads that I had applied, so second time round, you know, scrape it off, start again, it's not a problem, because I wanted this to be a really gentle marble, like really subtle, not, yeah, I don't know how to describe it. I know what I want to say, but I'm having trouble finding the words today. Yeah, it's more of a softer marble I was going for on this set. So just picking up the three colours that I have used so far and marbling them really. I'm using quite small beads because, like I said, I wanted a subtle marble. So if you use bigger beads you get more of a stand out kind of marble, and if you use smaller beads you get a softer marble. I can't find my words today, I hope you know what I mean, but yeah, I'm going, yeah, small beads, swirl them, and you get a nice sort of subtle marble. That's what I'm doing. So I'll keep adding those beads, working my way down the nail until I reach the free edge, and then I will add some of those mylar pieces. Put some of the yellow ones and some of the green ones, although when they're on the nail you can see they don't look as bright as they do in the pot, you know. They just give a nice little accent when they catch the light. And also some of the gold leaf with the blue and green bits in it. It's really pretty. So once I'm happy with that, I think I go straight in and cap that nail. Yeah, so I'm going to go straight in, and rather than waiting for it to set, I'm just going to cap that nail straight off. Start with the middle of the nail, add a clear bead of acrylic, then move down towards the free edge, add a bead there, blend that in. And once I'm happy with that, then I'll add another bead at the apex area. I was just evening out the surface of the nail there. You saw how I blended that bead in? It was like sort of filling in all the dents from the marble. And then I will go and take another bead, add that to the cuticle area and bring that down a little bit. But you know, I'm making sure it's all encapsulated all around the cuticle area, sort of tucking it behind the colour and making sure my apex is there and that there's enough for me to file without filing away my apex or filing away any of the marble. And the apex wasn't enough, so as you saw, I added another bead to that area. And that's how I do it. I'm just evening out the surface of the nail, making sure my apex is there, make sure there's no real bit, you know, dips, so that when I file I don't have any dents in the nail, you know, don't want that. So always look at the nail from all angles, because just the bird's eye view, you'll miss things if you're only looking at it from a bird's eye view. So always turn the nail around and look at it from all different angles. Where am I gone? Okay, I think I was deciding what to do on this nail. I wasn't sure, like I said, I was making this setup as I was going on, so like freestyle, you know. So I then decided to do another marble on the little finger. So I used a double dip and put that bead by the cuticle area, blended that in. Then I don't have to worry about the cuticle area so much, and then do the same thing I did with the thumb, which is add tiny bits of, tiny beads of acrylic and swirl them up and down the nail until I've got the marble I'm after. It's a smaller surface on the little finger, so it's filling up the space a lot quicker than it did on the thumb. I've worked my way down the nail, make sure I fill in any bits off the sides. If I've missed any bits, fill them in, and again add some of the mylar pieces and some of the gold leaf again, because it just, I think it just sets it off nicely. I really liked this set, I must say. I kept this set on for quite a while. I really did like it. So once I've finished with those, I will cap it. So middle of the nail, clear bead, pat the back of the bead nice and flat, and then bring the front of the bead down and try and encapsulate the free edge. Add another bead right at the free edge to encapsulate that, because that first bead didn't go down as far as the free edge. But this is how I cap. I mean, everyone caps differently, you know, so it's up to you how you want to do it, but this tends to be how I do it: middle, free edge, then cuticle bead. Now and again I'll start at the cuticle area first, so you know, it depends on my mood of the day really. So again, where I'm capping, I'm filling in all of those lumpy bits from the marble and making sure my structure is there so that I've got a nice apex and that I don't file into or away my apex or the design that the clear has encapsulated. Don't want to do all that work and file it away. That would not be good. I use my brush and I stroke, 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 and just make sure it's as smooth as I can get it. Now on the middle finger I shall be adding some of these flame stickers. These are so cool. I really liked these stickers. I wanted to encapsulate them as well, so I'm adding them to the middle finger that was the plain mint straight up, and then I will encapsulate it. I wanted to add another small bit of the flame up further on the nail. Feel like it could do with another bit, and it broke, so I'm just getting the bit that broke, putting that on. They're so fiddly, but I'll get there eventually. There we go. So make sure I push that down, make sure it's all stuck good, and then encapsulate that. That way I don't have to worry about it peeling off or the top coat not holding it down or anything like that. I mean, you can put these under top coat, but I just wanted to make sure it was encapsulated. I wanted that encapsulated effect. You know what I'm like. I like everything to be encapsulated. I just like the look of it. Just that glassy top effect that, I don't know, I just really like. So I shall make sure that whole nail is completely covered with clear and that the sticker is totally encased, and as usual that my structure is in place. So once I've capped this nail, then I will file in the index finger. So here's the cuticle bead going on. Tap that around the cuticle area, bring the front down, and if I need any more I will add more. I don't count beads, it takes as many beads as it takes. So as you saw at the beginning of the video, I probably should have said, yeah, I have obviously prepped and tipped my nails beforehand before starting the film. So I'm just covering everything up with a piece of kitchen roll because I don't want the dust getting in there, and I will just use my hand file to quickly file in the pink and the green line to make sure it's nice and sharp. And because I capped the white bits, I don't have to worry about filing away my shell pieces and stuff, you know. And then I got my e-file out because I thought, oh, why am I doing this with a hand file when I can e-file? I remember these things before, you know, afterwards, as usual. You know what I'm like, forget I've got these tools at hand. I go straight in with a hand file and then remember, dude, you've got an e-file, why are you killing yourself hand filing? So yeah, I'm just filing in those lines and making sure they're nice and sharp. I'm really filing in that line, aren't I? I'm such a pernickety moo. But yeah, so happy with that. Dust it off, then swipe with a bit of monomer and then cap that entire nail. And this, you know, structure again, we always, I know I'm talking about structure a lot, but you know, you need your structure there, because if your structure isn't there, then you've got a weak nail that will break, but you also don't want a big, thick, bulky nail either, so think about the nail as a whole when you're capping. Look at it from all angles, as I always say, look at it from every angle, make sure it's you know, well and truly sorted. And just making sure I've got enough at the very tip there. Still needed a bit more. See, the nail was really flat, even though it looked like I'd put a lot of acrylic on, I hadn't. So yeah, need to build it up with the clear. And then once I've finished that, it will be filing time. I'm just tucking in that clear and making sure I've got a nice cuticle area, and making sure that if any of that acrylic touches the skin, that you use your brush and get it off as soon as possible. Don't let it set on the skin, because that will cause lifting. That's the quickest way to get lifting, is to have your acrylic touching the skin. Guaranteed lifting that way, you don't want that. So, time to file. I've left quite a bit of the filing in for my frosty filing freaks. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've got a song in my head and I'm dancing to it. I know, I'm a bit weird, but anyway. Yes. For my frosty filing freaks, here is some filing. This routine that I'm doing, I will do my cuticle areas first before even going into the, filing the free edge or anything. I'm doing my cuticle area first because that's what I felt like doing. So I'm using, it's a medium, what's it called? I think Karen. Oh Lord, ceramic, that's it. It's a medium ceramic cone bit, and it's really quite neat to go around the cuticle with, but it's quite sharp, so you do have to be a bit careful. If you're afraid of an e-file bit being a bit sharp, you can always run the very edge of it along a filing board, a hand file, and it will dull the very edge of it if you're scared, so it kind of turns it into a bit of a safety bit if you're worried about that kind of thing. So now that I have finished that part, I will use my hand file and do my sidewalls and my free edge. So sidewall, under arch, free edge, and just make sure there's no acrylic underneath. I hate acrylic getting underneath. If there is any underneath and I can't get it with my hand file, I will get it with my e-file. I don't always show that in videos, but yeah, I can't stand any of the acrylics that seeps underneath. It really jars me, so I always make sure that that's removed, because that can be really annoying. And you think about it, if you're doing your client's nails and you don't check underneath and some of the acrylic has gone round and underneath, they're going to pick at that, and then there's the potential of breaking a nail or messing up a set where they're picking a piece of annoying acrylic out. So yeah, just check underneath the nails and make sure there's no bits of acrylic there that shouldn't be, basically. So again, sidewall and free edge, and stop and check. Don't just keep going, file and check, make sure it's looking even. See, I'm flicking some acrylic out from underneath. Yeah, get that off, don't like it. And then I make sure it's nice and straight. You see, I'm looking, making sure they all even. You've got to look at all of the nails, make sure they're all as uniform as you can get them, well, I do anyway. I'm fuss pot. That's why I ended up starting doing my nails in the first place, was because I was so fussy. They must have hated me. But yeah, mind you, I was at that time, many moons ago, I used to have my nails done at a non-standard salon, and yeah, started noticing things, that things weren't being cleaned, and I didn't like the way my nails were being treated or carried out. So yeah, that's why I got into nails myself. Didn't trust them. So now I am using another e-file bit. This is again a medium bit, and I will just contour the nail as a whole, because obviously I've done the sidewalls, yeah, so now it's a case of just sort of debulking and smoothing and removing any acrylic that is a bit too much, evening out the surface. Seem to have had a bit too much acrylic on one side of the nail, so I just evened it out a bit. I always suggest that you get some e-file training if you haven't already done so. It's definitely worth doing. I used an e-file for many years before I got trained, but then I was only doing it on myself. So yeah, once I got trained, then I was okay with doing it on other people. But I mean, I rarely did it on other people before I was trained, which it was just my mum. Poor mum. Yeah, she was guinea pig, bless her. But yeah, it's always good to get training. Even if you're only doing your own nails, it's still good to get the training in, because you learn things, and I learned quite a lot at my e-file training, even though I was quite experienced. Yeah, I got a few more tricks out of it, which was awesome. But I will leave you to watch the filing in peace, because yeah, you don't really need me to explain the rest of it. You know what's going on. So just sit back, relax, enjoy the music and the filing for my filing freaks. And if you don't like filing, just fast forward. Yeah. Okay. I'll be back in a minute.
Escucha, mío en tu habitación, solo los 2 segundos que hay que detener. Porque si no siento tu voz o tu olor, te extraño y te quiero ver. Tanto me falta, todas esas noches tan soñadas. Haces falta, bebé. Dime qué tengo que hacer pa' tenerte de una vez, pa' no poderte perder. Dulce, eres mi bombón. Te quiero melocotón. Por ti corro un maratón. Solo de la dirección. Tú y yo, queriendo más amor. Pa' mí no es suficiente. Yo quiero tu calor. Somos lo que la gente no ha visto de los dos. Tanto me falta, todas esas noches tan soñadas, que me levantes a mirada. Tú tienes pinta de indicada. Mira, somos perfectos, es algo indiscutible. Mi estilo y tu estilo no están disponibles. Solo soy sensible cuando te tengo porque eres irresistible. Tus labios combinan con tus ojos, porque eres tan pretty que hasta yo de eso miento. Chica, necesito mis anteojos. Quiero verte en noche hermosa de todos modos. Tú y yo, queriendo más amor. A mí no es suficiente. Yo quiero tu calor. Tú y yo, con esa conexión. Somos lo que la gente no ha visto de los dos. Tanto me falta, todas esas noches tan soñadas, que me levantes a mirada. Tú tienes pinta de indicada. Tanto me falta, todas esas noches tan soñadas, que me levantes a mirada. Tú tienes pinta de indicada. Lunes, Ricky Baker. Ella sabe que con quien está hablando tú me conoces más. No juegues.
Okie dokie, so the filing is finished. I have dusted the nails off and wiped over with a lint-free wipe and rubbing alcohol. And now I'm using some jewelry gel. It's the Tony Lee jewelry gel for the bigger pointy backed crystals. I find this holds them in place really nicely because it's a thick gel, so it kind of, oh, what's the word, the pointy backs sit nicely in it. It rises around, sort of cushions and envelops the pointy backs to hold them in place. And then for the flat backs, I will use my diamond gel pen from SBD London, which is wonderful. It's very good, holds gems on and very good. Don't often lose any gems, which is cool. The Tony Lee gel, I will say that's not tack free, but the SBD London diamond gel pen, that is tack free, which is pretty cool. I'm just making a bit of a cluster. It's a big cluster, wasn't messing about. It's quite a lot of crystals I put on. These are the opal type crystals. I thought they went well with the set. So I'm just colour coordinating with the different colours of opal. So I'm not putting any of the blue ones on. I'm going for the pink, white and green, obviously, to match the pink, white and green of the rest of the nails. Got my crystal picker up tool. I'll just nudge those pieces in together. The good thing about using gels to adhere crystals is that you have time to move the crystals around, and it will not set until you put your hand in the lamp, so you can, you know, nudge them about as much as you like and get them in the right place without having to be totally precise with your placement immediately. Because when you use nail glue, you have to be definitely like, that is exactly where that crystal's going to go, because once it's stuck, you know. That's why I like using the gel. I mean, I don't mind using the glue when I know, you know, I've got a game plan of exactly what I'm doing, but when I'm faffing like what I'm doing in this video, I, you know, just go winging it. Yeah, it's good to be able to move the pieces around. So I've cured those in place, and I'm using the French white from CC Nails Ireland. It's a really nice bright white that is really good for drawing with. Obviously it's for, you know, doing French pink and whites, you know, but it's also very good for drawing with. As you can see, it's got good coverage, it's nice and opaque, and it's not too thick, you know. Some drawing gels are really thick and gloopy and they leave really quite raised lines, and I didn't want that, so this was perfect for that. Very nice. So I'm just using that to outline with my 7mm fine liner brush from SBD London. Yeah, I'm just using that to go around the flames, giving them a bit of an outline to set them off. This is the French white that I was using, and this is the jewelry gel by Tony Lee, and then the diamond nail gel pen from SBD London. And I'm using Gloss Like a Boss, which is unfortunately no longer in stock. It's yeah, not being sold anymore, but it's a really nice top coat, so I've got it. I'm going to use it. So I will go around the crystals with my brush as best I can. I never go over my crystals, I always go around them, and wherever I can't reach with the brush from the bottle, I will use a fine liner brush and use that to go around the crystals wherever the brush from the bottle can't go. So yes, let's top coat these puppies. Oh, I forgot to say, you know, let's top it off and keep it tough. How could I forget to say? Oh my goodness, how terrible. What's the point of having a little slogan if you don't say it, eh? Anyway, so yeah, fine liner brush, go around the crystals and the places that I couldn't reach with the brush from the bottle. And that's the set finished. So I've left a bit of a clip at the end and some photos, so please stay tuned for that. But apart from that, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please click the like button. Please subscribe if you have not already done so, and click that notification bell so that you know the next time that I upload a video. And that is all I have for you this time, peeps. So you take care now, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Bye for now.
Yo la vi pasar, me enamoró su mirar. Ese día conmigo bailó, yo sabía que quería más. Todo su resplandor, lo que muestras es solo amor. Es tan fuerte que solo vos te adueñaste del corazón. Baby, tú dame de tu amor, dame lo que necesito, esos besos. Baby, tú dame de tu amor, no importa si tú me robas 1000 besos. Ella le dice a todos que tiene novio, que soy un baby, que su vida adorno. A ella le encanta cómo siente mis besos, se siente morena